Hey, 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 hello, we are live now. Time to just put out some of the notifications. Hello there. Hey, hi, Afiq. Happy New Year, Afiq. Who's watching this? We got a couple of viewers online. If you are watching this live stream now, please do say hi in the comments, okay? Right? Right? And we already have the first one. Aizat says here, tengah malam, live apa ni, JD? Aizat, what a weird question from you, man. Right? This is of course, this is the usual ask me anything session. Whenever there is no live stream, when there is no mix stream, this is what I do. I will do. I want to make it a commitment to at least always have something for those of you who are in the mix stream community, who are out there, or who are just follow the Su 2105 page, or just anyone who's following me as well. I just want to make this as a commitment to have something for you, on a Friday night. Because if there is no mixed stream going on, obviously today is January 1st. Then I will of course do this line in place. Wow, hello, right. And maybe let me kick it off first. Right, I'm kind of multitasking here, doing one thing on my DWPC, doing another one on my laptop right here. So maybe I should firstly start it all out, right? Every one of you who's watching, thank you for hopping in right now, okay? First of all, right, Happy New Year 2021. Selamat Tahun Baru, right? 新年快乐. Feliz Año Nuevo or something like that. It's that how it's said in Spanish. Okay, I think I covered the most widely used languages already in the world, right? Which is what? English, Chinese, BM, and BM Malay here, meaning both Bahasa Malaysia, BM, and also Indonesia and Spanish. All right, cool. Right. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for hopping in, right? And if you're watching, please do leave a comment, right? When you put a comment in there, I will post it up so everyone can see that you have posted up a comment. And Aizat also says, Selamat Tahun Baru Masehi, JD. All right. Yes. Selamat Tahun Baru Masehi. Yes, of course, you're right. This is, of course, the Western New Year as based on the Gregorian calendar lah. All right. I'm sure we all, even if we go with respective different calendars, we have the Buddhist calendar, we have the lunar calendar, right? And we have the Islamic calendar. It's all different days. Isn't it cool that we can celebrate New Year's many times a day? Well, in February we have Chinese New Year. For Hindus and Tamils, they all have their New Year as well. For on my side with my wife, we have Lao New Year, which is in April. So cool, lots and lots of celebrations. But I'm sure you all know, well, 2020 is in the past. 2020, we have had not been able to celebrate a lot of stuff lah. But hey, I mean, we can't celebrate in big groups or together or big gatherings, with friends and family, but it's still a celebration nonetheless, man. Right? We still got a lot of things to be happy about. Okay, cool. And oh wow, Abang Zaiful Zaman, he says, Happy New Year, Von Karayan. Right. Zaiful Zaman, Abang Z, we call him Abang ZZ, okay? Right. If you guys are wondering why is this called Von Karajan, okay? Firstly, let me just tell you who Herbert von Karajan is, lah, okay? Now, Herbert von Karajan is that's his full name, by the way, is a very world famous conductor, right? He was the principal conductor, right, of the Berlin Philharmonic. And his recordings, right, with the Deutsche Grammophon label and all that were some of my favorite, basically, right, my favorite recordings. I have a lot of CDs which I bought, which are all Herbert von Karajan and Berlin Philharmonic recordings, especially all the Beethoven symphonies. I bought the whole Beethoven nine symphony box set, and yeah, so that is who Herbert von Karajan is. Okay, yeah, and why does this name pop up? Okay, now when I was much younger, actually not really long time ago, just a couple of years ago. One of the things which I really love to do is I actually love video games. Right, no surprise there, right? So I personally I like two types of video games. I like um, real-time strategies, anything that's kind of based on strategy, military stuff. We talk about Red Alert, Command and Conquer, Tiberian Dawn, Tiberian Sun. Okay, I can't remember. I'm so bad, man. Right. And then when it comes to first-person shooters, right, I remember way back in the day when Wolfenstein 3D first came out, man. Right, I really played that game. I can't remember, right, how many hours I've spent playing, all those games. So, yeah, especially those from the early id Software. So there was obviously Wolfenstein 3D. There was Doom, Duke Nukem. Or Duke Nukem not so much because I was more always kind of geared towards the more militaristic side kind of thing. So I really love Wolfenstein 3D, man. All right, move on, fast and forward, and then there was one game which I was really hooked on. Okay, it was called, right. Um, Everyone knows World of Warcraft, right? World of Warcraft, and that is of course one of the most famous RPG slash RTS strategy kind of games. But this game, which I really loved, was called World of Tanks. Okay, so let me try and share that with you, and let's see whether we have that or not. Okay, World of Tanks. Let's take a look for it. Right. So this was a fantastic. I love this game. Okay, I'm just going to share this with you, lah. Right. Okay, so take a look at this. This is the game which I'm talking about. So this is remains to this day my favorite game of all time. It is a it's an MMO, right, which is a massive multiplayer online game. So you get to play, with everybody around the world. Well, not really around the world. It's based on your regional server, of course. So pretty much everywhere around Asia. So in Malaysia here, we had a pretty strong, we had a really good community. It was really cool. So Abang Z here, right? Zaiful Zaman here, he's one of my good friends, which and also clanmates. So I was, in a Malaysian based clan, and I was a pretty good player, Okay, not a super what we refer to as a super unicum, like, right? Unicums like unicorns, like super high win rate kind of thing. But okay, well, good enough to be a little bit above average, like, I think like 56-57% kind of a win rate, which is a little bit above average. So it was cool. It was a great community, but I have not touched and played this game in ages. Like, I think it's like at least 5 years. Once in a while, when I really have super free time, I might drop in, a session or two, right, over a long weekend or something like that. But I've not played in a long time. So, right, thanks Abang Z. Okay, so it's a great community. In fact, one of the songs, I actually did a song. All right, let me go back to my YouTube page if I can find it. In fact, I took advantage of um, let's say my music and my audio and my music production background. So they actually ran a contest a couple of years ago too, right? They called it, I can't remember what exactly, but it was actually a song competition contest. And now, as you can see, every time you watch one of my videos, right, any of the videos on my YouTube page here, okay, right, anytime on my YouTube page, the intro reels, let me just play that for you. Okay, not sure whether you can hear it. I can play this video because it won't get copyrighted because it's my video. Okay, unless Facebook does some weird stuff lah. So every time I do my MixStream intro reel, right, this is actually a song which I composed. Right, so I actually created and composed a full theme song. I have the full video here, but every time you play one of my videos, okay, let me play that. Let me put a full screen. Oh, it kind of hung a little bit. Hey guys, right. Sorry, I accidentally closed the tab on. I'm such a noob, man, trying to manage all these different windows here. So yeah, so if you check out on my YouTube channel, which right by the way, this is the YouTube channel. Okay, do head on down to www.youtube.com/studio2105. Okay, right. I would really appreciate it. Head on down to my channel and okay, some notifications are popping up. Okay, so the channel, right, is called the Studio 2105 channel. Right, the title, of course, I put it is Direct Access MixStream. That's the name of the community, right? The MixStream community, I call it. So it's described here, right? It's an online program and a community that discusses everything and anything related to music production, recording, mixing, mastering, music theory, music business, etc. Okay, right. So this is my YouTube channel, all right. And if you guys have not gone, please do head on down and become a subscriber. Okay, just go to youtube.com/studio2105. Click on the subscribe button, become subscriber today. Okay, we really appreciate it. So as you go to any of those videos, all of the song, every time there's the opening and the intro reel, this was actually a song that I composed for the World of Tanks. They did a song competition. So it was kind of unfair, because I was coming in as a music and an audio professional, so I pretty much hands down kind of won the competition. So I think the prize was it was a whole year of what we call premium account, which is usually worth oh, the video starts playing here, which is around how to say, I think it was worth a couple of hundred ringgit. So it was a nice little windfall. So let's see, let's see, roll out. The title of the song is called, should be somewhere here, I think. Oh, very cool. They actually put the video out on their website too as well. Okay. It should be on my personal one. Maybe I'll update it and put it on my personal page as well. Is it on my personal page? I think so. I think it's probably in my personal page. So this is the video, the song which I won the contest. All right. I'll just play it and share it with you guys. Okay, full screen. Oh, hello, internet. So I edited the video as well. Guitar solo. You guys usually never ever hear me play solos. Here we go. All right, there you go. Just sharing a little fun thing which I did a couple of years ago. 2013. Oh wow, yeah, that's 7 years ago, man. Anyway, yeah. So, oh, here we go again. It starts playing. Every time you go to his channel, it will play there. Okay. So yeah, so do check it out. It's a little fun things which I do as well, and I love doing stuff related to gaming as well. I mean, my kind of music is kind of really suitable for video games and action and stuff like that. Okay. And let me just look at we got some more comments in the chat. By the way, if you're watching again, please drop a comment in there, say hi, then I will know that you are there. Okay, right. So Sarah, oh hi, hello Sarah. First time tuning in this live stream. Wish everyone a happy new year. A happy new year to you too, Sarah. Okay, right. Thank you very much. Yes, this is the first time. And welcome. Right. Do check this out. Okay. Do check out the not only the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, but also the MixStream online community as well. Okay. So how to go there? Let me just check it out. Right. Let me just put it out for you. This would be facebook.com/. Oh, let me double check and make sure that I got the right make sure I get the right URL. Facebook.com group/MixStream. Okay, cool, got it. Got the right one. Groups MixStream. And voila, here it is. There we go. Right. So you can also join this little group. This is the Facebook community group. Well, because I think Facebook is kind of the easiest platform to for everyone to for me to sort of keep everyone informed and updated lah. Because everyone is on different platforms. Some people are Twitter folks, some people are Instagram, but kind of Facebook is the one that's easiest to sort of reach out to the widest to the widest number of people. And it's also easy for them to post questions or comments or articles or anything. So it's a Facebook group where you can come on board, which is for us to interact and to communicate with each other, right? It's to network with other fellow music enthusiasts and anybody who's enthusiastic about recording, mixing, anything to do with audio and music and all that. Okay. There is also obviously you can always leave your questions there. So I usually solicit and source a lot of questions for my weekly update Wednesdays video, where I always answer a specific question, right? So sometimes I get questions posted straight to me. Sometimes I get questions that come up in some other audio groups and audio forums as well, and I put that as one of the videos lah, right? So one of the weekly things which I do would be the weekly update Wednesday. So it's a whole, right? It's an entire playlist of here.
Hello there.
Oh, there we go. You can hear my voice in the background. Let me mute it. So this is like a pretty old video. May, wow, all the way back in May 2020. Okay, well, all in the sense that it feels old because it's it feels like 2020 feels like it's been a long year lah. Okay, for reasons that we obviously know. Okay, cool. Right. So I probably just want to mention who else has left a thank you here as well. Right. Again, thanks Sarah for leaving a like. Thank you Abang Z Zaiful for leaving a like. Hi Azrul Algon Quins. Oh, that's cool. All right. Hi Azrul. Do say hi. All right. I want to say you. Right. Where are you coming from? Where are you viewing from? Okay. Sarah Lee says thanks. Okay. All right. No, thank you. Right. Thank you very much for just tuning in here. Now, what am I going to do this? So I do this Ask Me Anything live Q&A because usually on my channel, on my content, what I do is the main program and the main event that I do on Fridays is what I call the mix stream. And let me just go to the channel page, which will make it easier. So playlists, right? So let me minimize this first and look for the playlist. Here we go. So usually MixStream, right, is a weekly live stream that I do. So this is actually a live stream where I actually pick a song, or sometimes it's sometimes local acts will send them to me, or sometimes it will be a song which I'm working on with an artist, or something like that, or a local artist, and I will mix the song live online, right, in real time. So there are a lot of processes that goes on behind the scenes, where behind the creation and the making of a song, and not many people get to know that. Just to hear a song on radio or YouTube or digital on your Spotify or anything, there's a lot of work that's gone behind it. So this live stream here is that I do is to sort of maybe just to demystify and to sort of let people who are interested, right, to take a sort of behind the scenes look. It's more like over the shoulder look, okay? So you actually get to watch as I mix a song from the ground up, from scratch, all the way up to right to the finished product. So I've done several. This one is episode 1. So I've covered so many different versions. Well, I've done up to 16 right now, right? And the most recent one. So everything from acoustic rock, I've done hip hop, right? Even pop punk bands like An Honest Mistake, even pop here, right? Velvet and Rich of Estrange. Velvet, who is Rich's wife, or them a husband and wife combination. Indie bands, right? Punk, new metal, gospel, right? Given a gospel, a friend of mine was in a church band. Alternative rock, all the way reggaeton as well, right? A friend, and also the latest one that I did. The most recent ones are mostly pop. So I did one pop tune, Irama and Lagu by Kuzu. And the most recent one was just done December 11, right? Just a couple of weeks ago, right? It was a track, new song by Marsha Milan, okay? Hapus. So that was the most recent one that I did, okay? That song is already done. We've already finalized the mix with artists. So that's basically what MixStream is. So whenever there's no MixStream, because sometimes due to scheduling, sometimes I may not be able to squeeze in a mix project or something else that's going on, I will try always to, I always make a commitment to at least try to have some kind of content for you lah. So I do this, right, little online live Q&A. So yes, by the way, speaking of Q&A, right, if you are watching this, everyone who tuned in just now, right, to sort of get all of you to be interactive and to get involved, I want to sweeten the deal a little bit. So what I do always is that, right, I want to welcome any sort of questions that you have. I will try to answer them right here and then, live, from the top of my head. So the best question at the end of the night will win a prize. And what prize is it going to be? Okay, let me show you. Okay, so the best question which I deem the end of the night, right, will win this. Okay, This is a CD by Project EAR, East Asian Revolution. Now, okay, you might not know who it is, but this is actually one of the side projects which I'm involved in. Right, Project EAR is it's a collective. It's a collective of various different groups and artists all across Southeast Asia. There is, of course, my band Pop Shavit here in KL, representing Malaysia. Slapshock in the Philippines, Dandy, Titanium from Thailand, Ali Fikir from Singapore, and the extended family goes all the way even to, Joe Flizzo from Malaysia. We have Indonesian bands as well, and even all the way, right? We have both James Dewey's. James Dewey's was the former keyboardist for the Get Up Kids and plays also tours with MCR, My Chemical Romance, and of the newest album that we did, which is actually not this, the one that we have now under. We've already done. Um, that was also co-produced by Ray Toro of My Chemical Romance, right? Right. We actually toured and opened for My Chemical Romance during their Black Parade tour here around Southeast Asia, the Asia Lake. Well, they call it the Asia tour, but actually they only toured around Southeast Asia. So we were so lucky, right, and very fortunate. My band Pop Shavit to have been picked as their opening band. So we did KL, we did Philippines, Manila. We unfortunately we missed Vietnam because of scheduling. I think we've had to fly back here and did the Quicksilver. There was a Quicksilver Revolution show here at Sunway Lagoon, and then after that, the last one that we did was in Hong Kong, right? So yeah, so we did three shows right out of the four in the Southeast Asia League that was done by My Chemical Romance. So wow, that was a great opportunity, man. So again, questions, guys, again, and everyone, right? Um, Please do leave your questions, and I'll try my best to answer to the top of my head. Now, actually, if you kind of look at the bottom, the ticker that I have going on, right? I'm kind of what I actually wanted to do was to answer, right? It says here, ask me anything 16, welcoming the new year and answering Ben's questions. Now, so actually, Ben was actually one of the students of me, the direct access music production workshop, which I organized, which I taught, which I held early on in September and October. So after the entire workshop was done, he actually left a whole set of questions, like 20 plus questions for me to answer. Let me just look at how many questions did he have. 25 questions. Yes, 25 questions. So I wanted to do a little sort of just one off session to just answer all of his questions in one go. And I did mention to him that I'll do it. So I guess I'll do this for the second half of this live stream. But in the meantime, right, if you're watching this, if you have any sort of questions, right, for me, do post them in the comments, okay? Right. Questions, comments, best question of the night will win a prize. The prize is a CD, an actual physical. Hey, an actual CD, man, a real CD. This is a super limited edition one, by the way. Right? These are the last ones. We never actually meant to sell or to release any physical ones because nowadays it's more digital already, lah. Right? So, but we had actually printed a small run of physical ones, and these are the very last ones that are available. Okay, so keep the questions coming. All right, now, so in the meantime, so maybe now it's about 10:30. So come 11, if we don't get any questions, then I will go straight into answering Ben's questions. Okay, Ben's 25 questions. Hope you're all doing fine. Okay, all right. So let me just go and grab a coffee. Okay, let me just go and grab a coffee over there. Okay, I can see a couple of questions coming up already in the comments. Excellent. Okay, let me just go grab my cup of coffee here, and I'll get to the questions in a bit. Coffee. Excelente. Coffee. So, by the way, all right, as a do, if you are watching this right now, I am also recording this as a video replay. So, if you are watching this later on, not now during the live stream, but during a replay, I will also be uploading this on the YouTube channel. Okay, so again, once again, YouTube channel is www.youtube.com/studio2105. Okay, do head on there and click and become a subscriber today. Okay, got loads and loads and loads of content for you. Everything from tutorial videos, the MixStream live streams. I have programs and shows such as the song breakdown, some tutorials as well. So head on and check it out. All right. So I started doing this in April of last year. Okay, I'm still gotta get used to calling it last year. Okay, and I've got so many videos for all of you. Okay, all of these videos as well. Speaking of direct access, I mentioned earlier, right, that I will answer the questions from Ben later. So you can see all these videos that are in green. So the direct access music production workshop. Okay, let me just click on one of it. Here we go. It's something that let me just talk a little bit about the direct access music production workshop. So it's a workshop which I first organized in 2018. So what I do is that this is a workshop where I pick a band or an artist or an act, right? A local independent. It needs to be independent. It needs to be unsigned, right? Means they're not attached to any label or anything. And so what I do is I pick a song, a band, an act in the song, and I select them for the workshop. So what I do is I take their song, and actually, right, pick the band and produce and record the whole project, the whole song for them, for free of charge, of course, and feature them as a workshop. So this is a workshop which takes place over a course of 6 weeks, 6 weekends. So it's once a week, right, for an entire weekend. So the students that come and participate, right, they get to watch the entire process from ground up, from start all the way to the end of how a song production, right, is done professionally in a studio. So we start with drums on week 1. We record drums to talk about recording techniques. We do a recording session. You actually get to watch, right, in person live how it actually goes. Then we do bass, and we do guitars, vocals, and then we, after recording is done, we do a mix. I mix it as well, right, live in front of the students, and then we wrap it up with mastering. So it's a combination of, like, you have hands-on live demonstrations, right? So you actually get to watch, and some of them as well. You get to do some hands-on experience as well, plus some also some classroom lecture lah, right? So the video, as you can see here, right, this is part of the classroom lecture that's going on, right? So I cover many topics. Let me just rewind. Let's go back to the little playlist over here. Okay, let's go back to the playlist. So as you can see, all these videos that have the green thumbnails, I think I have a total of, total of 26 videos, man. So they all cover different topics, right? All the way from the very first one, which talks about music production 101. We go to, it's probably easier to see if I go here, right? If I go to videos, let's see. Yep, okay. Yeah, all the way from microphone basics. Can you guys see it? Let me put it in full screen so it's easier for you to see. So, right, first video is music production 101, microphone basics, recording techniques, and then the recording session itself. Because not only do I talk about the techniques, and I sort of demonstrate how I set up the mics, how I set up the amps and everything. But once that is done, we actually go and you actually get to watch and see how the session goes as well. So all the way, right? I think there's total of 19 modules in total. I even things like there's digital audio, MIDI, how to do drum editing and post production. As you can see, right, this is inside the control room, all the way until acoustics and how to set up your home studio. So if this course, when I usually do it, right, it's worth actually 3,000 ringgit. Actually, more than that. It's about 3,000 ringgit if you were to attend an equivalent professional course for 6 week long course, 8 hours, 8 hours during the weekend. It's once a weekend, but it's an 8 hour session, right? Across 6 hours, you attend those kind of courses, it's usually at least 3-4,000 ringgit lah. But what I've done, and I've made it available for everyone, all of you, right, to watch, right, for free. Wow, don't you? Yeah, you all love free stuff, right? Okay. So even all of this, these are even, for example, this is the inside the control room. We fast forward. Yeah, this is inside the control room. Was done in Big A Productions, by the way. So here I talk about, right, drum editing and drum sample replacement. So loads and super lots of content, okay, for you guys. All right. Okay. So okay. Right. Cool. So we've got some questions ready and coming from. So that's direct access. So go and watch the videos. Okay, they're all on the YouTube channel. Right, subscribe, become a subscriber. Okay, that will really appreciate it. So if we're good, let's get down to some questions that have come in. So here we go. First one. Hi. Okay, Lux Zania. Okay, how do I pronounce your name? Lux? Okay, right, I'll just call you Luke. Okay, right. So his question goes, for startup bands, right, with not many people, like 2 or 3 piece, is it better for us to write, record, mix, master, and publish as well as market it, or is additional budget required for dividing the work and not get overwhelmed, burnt out? Okay, right. This is a very good question, actually. Right, so I think it goes in 2 parts. So if so, which part is recommended for the band artist to focus on? Okay. Now, if you ask me, my answer. Okay, let me get a sip first. Now, my answer is some people actually will disagree with it, but from my viewpoint, all right, an artist, right? When I say artist, please don't lump and say artist means that the famous celebrities. Celebrities are celebrities, okay? That's a different thing. But artists here are referring to, all right, artists here are referring to anyone who creates art, who creates content out there, right? So whether you are independent, whether you are new, whether you are just starting up, as Luke here says, it doesn't matter. Okay, so artists, you are singer songwriter, right? I consider you an artist as well. So here's the thing. In my opinion, I really strongly believe that if you are an artist, if you are a performer, honestly, your focus should really be on your craft and your art. Same goes if you are a musician, if you are a guitarist, right? Your focus, the amount of attention and effort that you should be put in is to put it into your craft and your art. And what's your craft and what's your art? Okay, let's talk about let's say a guitar player. That would be your guitaring, your playing skills. So that would mean practice, um, practice, right? Improve your playing. Okay, all right. That should be your focus. And if you are a band, that means writing your songs, practicing the hell out of all the songs that you write, right? Jam, right? Perform, concentrate on the art and the craft. Um, I see kind of nowadays, right? Unfortunately, there's so many things to balance, right? For example, there's the recording, mixing, as Lucky mentioned, right? Whether you write, record, mix, master, publishing, and all of that. So nowadays, they always think about, there's so many things to think about, um, whether whether you want to record yourself, whether you have to mix and everything. The word that goes around, the sort of the right the buzzword that goes around now, right, is always been called DIY, right? Do it yourself, DIY. And I don't know, I don't really agree on that. I understand that, of course, right, budgets are hard to come by, especially now. Money is not an easy resource, and we have to think twice, three times, or more as to where to allocate, money, and where to allocate. Because look, realities of life, right? There's money is hard to come by. So nowadays the thing is that I don't know, the attitude of having to do everything yourself. Not everyone can do it. There are some who obviously can do it very, very successfully, who can manage and do it really, really well. Let's talk about, first of all, recording, mixing, mastering, which is right. This is where obviously my area of expertise is. Obviously, as technology and recording technology and equipment, microphones, interfaces, and software gets a lot more accessible. It gets more affordable. Obviously, you get a lot more increase, right? More and more people are recording from home nowadays, and you can, no doubt, again, don't get me wrong, you can get good and sometimes get pretty great results from recording at home. Of course, there's so many factors, right, they have to take into account, right? Not just your gear, your equipment, but the acoustics play a huge part, right? Because if your room acoustics are not good, your recordings, right, may not turn out good lah. And obviously, if your acoustics are not good, when you try to record and your monitoring is not accurate, you are not sure of what you are recording, is it? Because again, that's really, really vital. And there's so many factors, and the debate has gone on many, many times. But this is just what I think. Okay, again, I'm not saying that you can't do it. You can, um, but do recognize and be aware of the limitations. Well, there are a lot of things and say advantages of having a things done in a professional studio. Now, firstly, of course, right? Again, this whole debate will go on, and I am obviously biased towards the side of, all right, having things done in a professional studio with an experienced engineer, with the right equipment, and having, very important as well, having a producer as well. Okay, for me, I think that that's very important. But that is kind of where I'm coming from, lah. Right. So, you see, that's the thing. But that is again the challenge, right? And we're not even talk about the digital distribution and marketing and all that. Okay, that is music business side is a whole other, Pandora's box of issues and problems. So yeah, so for dividing work and not get overwhelmed, burnt out. Well, it's hard. Okay, now, so the thing is, I don't think. Here's my answer then. I don't think I can tell you what is right for you. I can't go out and tell every single band that, hey, you must do it this way, this way, this way. You must do it in a recording studio. You must do it my studio. Oh, you must get an engineer. You must get this. You must get that. Right? Because obviously there is no one way to correctly do all these things lah. But if you can manage on your own, more power to you. If you personally, if you have a passion of, if you feel that, or maybe you've studied a little bit about music and audio, and have a little bit of knowledge on how to work a DAW, how to record and all that, then by all means, right, take the opportunity to record yourself, mix and everything, right? And do it yourself, and just do it, right? Right? No, nothing to stop you, right? If you don't have the budget and you have to do everything DIY, then right, just go ahead and do it. All right. Even nowadays, talk about digital distribution and marketing and promo, you can do it all by yourself. Really, you can just go to a third party, right, online distributor, for example, DistroKid, TuneCore, CD Baby, and all that. You just sign up and then you can release and promote your music all by yourself. You don't really need all that people, right? You don't need a whole team. But having said that, yes, you can do all that by yourself, but that is a lot of work. That's a lot of work. Okay, that is why you see that I myself do not go into distribution and marketing and promo, or or the management side of things. I do not touch my hands in that, because it is overwhelming, the amount of work that's involved. Okay, I find that this is my personal thing. I find that if I focus on my craft, right, for me as a musician, right, with my band and everything, if I focus on my craft of writing, improving and writing songs, working out the arrangements for the songs, practicing jamming, that means, working on our stage performances, live performances, and all that. So on one day, if I focus on that, it's great. I don't worry about the promo. I don't worry about the all the marketing and all that. Now, um, and I'll get down to that later. Okay, from coming from an aspect of a band, and then on my side now personally, as a studio owner, as an engineer and producer, oh, I've been asked many times to, hey, can you manage us? Don't you want to sign artists, for example, and market them and promote them and run it like a label? I've been asked this many times already, and I've given this a lot of thought, right? And my answer is no, I wouldn't do it, because I know that if I were to start delegating and to start doing all these things, it's going to affect my main thing. It's going to affect my craft. It's going to affect the quality of my work, and I'm just not willing to sacrifice and to well, what's the word? you know, compromise on that lah, right? I want to focus on recording, mixing, right? These aspects, and don't even get me into mastering. Okay, that's a whole lot of other different topic. Go and check out the videos on my YouTube to know what I'm talking about, right? Mastering. Okay, right. I will not compromise on that. I would focus and concentrate. Nowadays there's a saying that goes like, you can be jack of all trades, master of none. And there is always all that pressure, of course, to succumb nowadays, right? To all that. Uh, so yeah, that's one of my answers lah. Okay, little bit more. Let me think. Right now, I will try my best. Let's see. When you talk about marketing and promo, there is a pressure nowadays. Obviously, we use social media nowadays to promote and market. Uh, One really annoying thing, which is again, I say, when you ask, again, my answer is going to be really really wide. But when you asked about which part, right, is recommended for the band artist to focus on, one of the most annoying things, honestly, right, when is in the studio, is when the band is so busy posting up their Instagram, social, their again, it could be me as a boomer, as someone who's, yeah, you can go and comment and say, okay, boomer, all right, or something like that, and saying that I'm just being old fashioned and all that. But every time I see them doing it, I see them lose focus on their recording. I see them lose focus on their song and their craft, and that's where you should be paying attention to doing it. Now, I don't mind if you bring maybe a videographer, one videographer or someone like that, to help to document and categorize, because at least you have that. You as an artist, as a musician, can focus on what to do now. You can focus on the work. You can focus on the craft. But if you're there, busy taking selfies and taking videos and doing Instagram stories yourself and all that, okay, right? Um, I've seen it a lot often. It usually compromises on the quality of what they do. Okay, again, granted, this is not a black and white thing. There are some gray areas in between. There are some who can manage, who can balance, all the work of doing all these things, but still create good content. But that's rare lah. That's few, and those are few and far between. Okay. Saying that, how much work, I've actually, a couple of years back, I was actually asked by a friend of mine to help to manage her. So she's actually a singer songwriter based in Australia. So she came back to Malaysia for a couple of months, to just on a personal thing, but also to try to sort of push and promote her music around her. So she did ask me to sort of help manage and become like a personal assistant, PR, for about a month and a half. And oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, that was one of the most time consuming exploits which I've ever undertaken. Okay, you cannot imagine the amount of time that was needed to write, to contact media, to organize stuff. Go to. It's practically a whole month where I could not do anything in the studio. You know, bar except for one or two projects. I had to like set aside so much stuff I couldn't accept just because I was so busy helping out with the trying to arrange interviews, press releases, and all that, just for one artist as a solo singer songwriter, right? Emails, calls, yada yada, this and that, blah blah blah. The amount of work, if you really really seriously want to get down to the marketing and promotion side, is insane. Okay, so I really really, really respect, right, publicists and all that. So I admire your work lah, right? They really, the good ones, right, really earn their worth and their money, right? It's worth paying them for what they do, because it's a lot of work, I can tell you that. Okay. Okay, now backtrack maybe from an aspect of, let's say, of a band, because this is probably more applicable for you. I can give you my personal experience of what we went through with as Pop Shavit. Now, uh, okay, a quick background thing. Now, my band was signed to Positive Tone when we first started out, and Positive Tone was kind of absorbed and bought over by EMI Malaysia. So, some people say that, hey, yeah, you guys were signed by a major label, so you all had everything done for you and everything. I can tell you that's all bullshit. Okay, I'll be very very frank to you. It's all bullshit, right? We pretty much, even though we were supposedly signed to a major label, we pretty much had to do everything on our own. We did so many things on our own, and I won't get into the topic of why we had to do that on our own, okay? Because that will be a whole videos worth of me talking about it. All right, but essentially it's that lah. So when we first started out, but here's so that's the background. Okay, so we, even though we were signed, we had to do work and put all the effort as if we were an independent band. So we manage a lot of things on our own when it comes to shows, right? You got to understand this, because, right, why we had to do things on our own, because if you go through a traditional label, right, when you talk about show management and all that, they are going to ask for money. They are going to ask, oh, can you pay our artists, at least, what, 4,000, 5,000 ringgit for a show? And if it's an independent gig, in the Blue Planet or somewhere like that, they're not going to have the budget to pay a new act, someone who's, a new band, 2,000 to a few thousand ringgit to play a show, right? So you come from, that's why we had to operate as an independent band as well, right? So obviously, if there were corporate gigs and all that came from label, then we were thankful we did it. But for all the other independent stuff, which, from the gigs and all that, we had to do it ourselves. We managed and we operated as we were an independent band. So we handled our own bookings and all that, right? Generally, anyone who wanted to Moods, right? My MC, right? Our rapper and MC, he was the one who handled all the business and all the show booking side of things. And the thing is that we delegated amongst ourselves, right? Various different things. I'm very thankful that all of us have from different skills. You know, Moods comes from a financial and business background, so he was the perfect person. Not only was he the front man, but he was also the perfect person to handle all the show related stuff, right? The bookings and all that. Okay, so that was that. Things like servicing the radio. My drummer Rudy, right? Even though he's also from business background as well, but Rudy had his own personal background, right? Was into photography and videography. So, right, he was the one who would take care of a lot of things related to our videos, related to photo shoots and stuff like that. You know, he will be the one, right, with the camera documenting, right, all the stuff. Okay, so, and then I personally, I came from a audio and a music technology, music production background. So I automatically, right, play that role as producer and engineer. I recorded and mixed my own band stuff, right, all this while. But that is because I came from a background that was my education, you see. So anyway, basically all of our the other two members as well, AJ and Udo, they themselves are producers in their own right. They themselves are musicians and producers. So all of us played a role because somehow all of us had different skill sets that complemented each other and to sort of move the band forward lah. So if you have that, okay, if you have that, then I would say yes, we were very lucky, right? Because all of us had different skill sets that could push us towards these things. But if you don't, if your band does, if you don't have it, then you got to face the facts lah, right? If you need someone with experience with audio experience, then you got to pull them in lah, okay? You have to get someone to help you lah, right? That's what I think, right? If you don't have someone who can get you good shots and get everything, go and get a friend who's a photographer or videographer and get them come on board. And what other things? You need to basically, to be honest, you need to build a team. I want you to take a look at all the successful bands, right? I want to, right? I would let's leave Pop Shop It out of the equation. I want to take a look at bands like Bangface and Hujan. You see, they go around with the team. There is actually a team, but again, when a lot of people forget that when they started, they're exactly like all of us. You have to do everything yourself. You have to ask friends for help. You have to beg, borrow, steal, and everything. You don't, we obviously see all these successful bands where they are now today. Wow, they got crew lah, they got team lah, they got this manager, this PA, everything, and they got tax and everything. But don't forget, during their early formative years, they were also the same, right? With all these bands, and a lot of people do not see this. I've seen that because I was there when Bangface first started. I was there when Hujan first started as well. In fact, I recorded Bangface's first album. I recorded and produced it. Hujan's first single, first few singles or so, I mixed it. Right, I personally know the boys when they first started out. So look, none of them started out immediately with a lot of money and resources. They had to build and work hard for it. Okay, so you need to build a team. So Luke, you mentioned here, right? All this work, writing, recording, mix, mastering, the touring, the shows, and all that. You cannot do it yourself. If you really want to be successful and informative, to be frank, to be honest, you cannot do it yourself. If you want to concentrate on your music, on your writing, your songs, and your performing, your stage performance and all that, you need people like a technical team. You need to train up and build up a crew. You need your front of house engineer, right? You need to build up a videographer, photographer. You need to get maybe a lighting engineer, right? Someone who can do lighting. You need a show manager. You need to build a team. So very early on, okay, this was way back. We always talk about DIY. I mentioned earlier DIY. Actually, a friend of mine, I think this was John, right? John from the band Nerdwreck, a very good friend of mine as well. He actually, I think he was the first person which coined the word DIT. DIT here means do it together, not do it yourself. I think that's the right way to think about it. I think bands should not be so caught up with the DIY attitude and the DIY mentality just for the sake of, oh, because that's integrity, you maintain your integrity that way. That's just stupid. That's just foolish, okay? Again, there's nothing wrong if you want to do it that way, and if you have the capability, if you have the time and the resources to do it everything yourself, then by all means go. Right? Like again, I said, like when it was my band, we had the ability because right, all of us had different skill sets that enable us to cover those areas. But whenever it came to areas which we could not do, things like, for example, music videos, international touring, for example, then we realized that there's just some things that we cannot handle ourselves. All right, maybe we could, but it would suck if we were to do our own videos, right? It would probably suck. So that's why we got friends to come on board to help. Right, we got a team together to help. And then eventually later down the line, we got ourselves a manager, right? So we spent pretty much the first 5 years of our careers self-managing, handling ourselves. As I mentioned, Moods would handle all the show bookings, all the stuff, servicing radio and all that. But eventually we realized that if you want to get to the next step, the next level, you need to build a team. You need to build a team around you. You need to build people. You need to get a team of people with proper skills and the proper specialized skills to do those things. Your marketing, your promo, your recording, your mixing, your mastering, whatever that. Don't do it all on your own lah. You need to build a team lah, right? And it takes time, definitely. It took my band 5 years, right? The first 4 or 5 years, right, we kind of got nowhere, but we persevered. We kept going and we kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and it took us 5 years before we, kind of got our first, right, success lah, so to speak. Whew, okay. All right. So to answer, as I said, focus on your craft. I think that's the most important thing. Build a team. Handle and do what you can do on yourself. Okay, right. Handle what you can do. If you have the ability, if you have the skill sets, do what you can do. But when you realize that, number one, either that it is overwhelming, that you can't handle it, or number two, when it starts to affect your craft, your music, and your gong, and your craft, your songs, and the quality of work that you're putting out, then it's a sign that you should not be doing it lah. You should start to delegate. You should start to get people on board. So build a team, okay? Cool. Right. So this is just pretty much what I have off the top of my head. Lucas, as I just saw a comment, it's pronounced as Lucas. All right. Okay. Lucas. All right. Very cool. Okay. All right. So I hope that answers your question. Okay. And that's one opinion. Okay. Right. And Lucas said, "Thanks for the wonderful insights, JD. Much obliged." No, thank you, man. All right. It's a learning, as I said, is always a two-way traffic. It's a two-way thing. As much as when I've got something to share or something like that, somebody will learn. But I also get to learn as well because I have to try and analyze and to look at things from different perspectives. As I mentioned earlier, I gave you my opinion and my perspective of what I think you should focus on. But I do respect and accept that there are different people who think otherwise. There are who who also think otherwise and say that, hey, why not? We can definitely do all these things ourselves. And again, I'm not saying you can't. You probably can, right? It's not going to be easy, but more power to you, man, if you can handle all those stuff. Okay, all right. So very, very cool. Thank you for the question. And hey, again, it's a very good question, right? And if I might try to expand this a little bit further on and feature this on maybe one of my weekly Q&As as well, right? So that's a great, great question. Okay, thank you very, very much. And again, for those, right, got another hour, we got another 50 minutes to go. So whoever got the best questions, okay, please, is gonna win a CD. Okay, I'll be sending out a copy of this CD to you. Right. So keep the questions coming, and let's look down in the comments a little bit further. Andy Chong. Hey, hi Andy. Happy New Year, Andy. How you doing? Andy is a very, very awesome, talented guitarist and a writer as well. And he says, "Thanks for sharing your thoughts." All right, very cool. I would love to be. I've worked with Andy on his previous album, which when is it gonna come out? All right, but I think Andy now has plans as well to record a couple of new songs as well, and looking forward to it. All right, looking forward to working with it. Andy, if you want to share your music, you want to share your stuff, this platform, this weekly Q&A thing actually is an open ground for everyone, right? So, right. So, Lucas, what do you? All right. Okay. I say this way, Lucas. What do you play? What role are you in the band? What's the name of your band? And share. Just share it with us. Okay. What instrument do you play? You got any songs that you want to share? You want me to check out? Just post it in the comments. No problem. I'll definitely check it out. Okay. And we got another comment here. Thanks everyone for leaving all the likes. In the meantime, again, for those who have not done so, please head on down to and become a subscriber. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay, youtube.com/studio2105. That will be really, really appreciated. So let's check it out. We got another comment here. Iman Roslan, Happy New Year, JD. My first time joining your live stream. Hey, welcome, okay? Happy New Year to you too. Been watching and learning from all your mix streams on YouTube during this MCO. Smiley face. All right. Thanks, man. Thank you for watching and watching the MixStream episodes. Okay, I hope you found it informative. Those videos, the MixStream videos are long. They are not for everyone. I do realize that when we talk about audio and stuff, it is a very, very niche market. It's a very, very niche audience. But I'm glad that you've learned something, man. Right? So again, more than that, it's a two-way thing. I want to always interact with all of you out there. So the best way of that is to send me questions, send me comments, or send me stuff. Okay, I would really, really love to. Very cool. I can see, Iman, are you a guitarist or looking for from your avatar? You obviously are in a band. What's the name of your band, man, guys? Lucas, right? Iman, Andy as well. You want to share your stuff? Sarah, you yourself. I don't know. Is Sarah still watching this? Okay, Sarah, if you are still watching this, what do you play? Right? What do you play? Or are you in a band? You have music to share? Feel free to share your stuff. Okay. So should I go down to Ben's questions? Because there's 25 questions in total, or maybe I should just split it up into different into another and just do it in another video. Right, because looking at how things goes, it's already coming up to 11:45. Right. All right. Okay. So check it out. So Iman says, oh, I'm empty page bassist. Iman, that means kita pernah jumpa lah. We met before, right? You come to my studio when the other guys, when you came to do the mix listening, right? And locals technician. Oh, cool. Sorry, man. Like, just sometimes there's too many names. People who come in the studio and everything. I just cannot remember, everyone's name. So please forgive me if I forgotten who you are and forgotten some people's names. Okay. All right. So, Lucas says, okay, Lucas, we just recently debuted our single called Thina Claire. Did I pronounce it correctly? The band is called Dominant Triangle, and right now it's just me and a close friend from high school. Very cool. It's a 70-track madness that took us a couple of years to pull off, such as orchestrating a 20-piece orchestra and arranging MIDI drums. Couldn't find a proper drummer that can do a double pedal. Right. Well, that's a bit of a tongue twister. Couldn't find a proper drummer that can do double pedal. All right, that's very, very cool, man. All right, so it says we did the recording in my studio in Subang and mix and mastered it with Hazard Geek Records. Okay, right. As well as the publishing. Okay, that's cool. Right. So Anwar. Okay, so right. So you guys did Anwar as well. Okay, right. So you guys work with Anwar. He's a great guy and he's doing a lot of great stuff and amazing stuff and really helping out the independent scene as well, right? With his label company Hazard Geek Records. That's super awesome, man. Super awesome. Okay, right. So, right, is the song out? Do share it with us if you're not shy, right? Just post it up in the comments, right? Share it, and then everyone who can check it out, even those, right? Because I'm going to post it out on the YouTube and there will be a replay as well. So people later who check out this video, right, if they see the link to your song, they can also check it out lah. Okay, all right. So Iman said, yes, I was there when Loco recorded a latest single about 2 months back, I think. Oh shoot! All right, sorry, bro. I tak perasan. I don't remember that you guys were there. Because well, it's been a blur lah. Like last year, so many things have happened. So very cool. Thank you, Iman. All right. Is Empty Page doing anything new? Obviously, Zik and Zach, right? The two guys, right? The two brothers. Zach actually helped tech for me during my very last show in February 2020 at the Malacca Music City festival. So Zach actually helped me out right there. So really cool. Small world. Okay. All right. So let's check it out. All right. Lucas says, yeah, it's out. Check it out when you're free. We released a lyric video a couple of days back. YouTube.com/watch. Okay. In fact, let me go and check it out right now. Right. Let's see. Okay. Let me just check it out here. Thina Claire. What? Okay. Is that the right one? let me check it out. Okay. Available on all major platforms as well. Okay. I can't find. Okay. The Dominant Triangle, Thina Claire. Okay. Dominant Triangle, Thina Claire. Come on, YouTube search. There we go. It only was 5 days ago. Hey, all right. Come, let's check it out. Don't copy strike me, okay? All right. No, actually, I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to play this in the background. So if you guys want to go and check out, right, Dominant Triangle, okay, just go and click on the link that is in there. Click on the link that's in the comment there, okay? All right, see, well, I'm doing some promotion for you as well. Okay, I will check this out, but I'm not going to put the audio on because Facebook is really finicky about audio. All right, so again, don't want to do stuff. So leave a like, subscribe. You've just got a new subscriber. Let me just drop a little comment. Hello. Hello, guys. Let me drop a little comment there. Hello, guys. First comment here. Congrats on the song, on the release of the single. Oh, man. Hey, here we go. All right. Damn, I guess the algorithm is whack. No, because they was showcasing, was sharing something else. So yep. So check it out. Look out for the video. Okay. Very very interesting. Kind of a medieval kind of thing. Looks like a tarot card thing. I'll check it out. Okay. All right. So yeah, we're currently in the process of writing and recording a second album. We have no idea when it will finish. Haha. All right. Okay. Very 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 cool. Right. So obviously Iman, right? So obviously empty page. Zach himself was has a is recording your own stuff. Yeah, it's doing great work, man. So I think when we drove all the way down and up, we had a lot of nice good talk about music and audio. So great job, man. Keep it up. Right. So Iman, what do you think? Because Lucas was asking about a band going DIY, and then obviously I think you guys are a good example of a band that does things DIY. And you guys had some songs, right? Empty Page had some songs which was featured on some OSTs, right? If I'm not mistaken. I've also seen Zik, wow, becoming a model on a TV ad as well, if I remember. So maybe you have something to share, with Lucas, what you think about how you go about it as an independent band, right? So share your experience. Okay, very very cool. Right. So yeah, so let's go and check. I'll definitely go and check it out. Okay, later on. And let me put this to. Oops, not report. Excuse me. Let's put it on my watch later list. Okay, and we'll definitely check it out. 6 minutes and 49 seconds. Yeah, it's cool. Pretty. Okay, Twitter, dominant triangle. Instagram, dominant triangle. All right, cool. Very very cool. I'll definitely check it out later. Okay. Sweet. So we're coming up. It's now 11:20. So we got about 38 minutes left on this little program here. Da-da-da. And what's that? Let's see today. Thank you so much, man. Thanks, guys, for putting out and sharing all your stuff out there. Okay. Let me just take a look at Ben's questions then. So, any questions? Any further? Should I just do all these questions on another time? All right. Okay, let me just take a look. 25 questions. Some of these questions actually I can always kind of direct them to a specific video which I've already done, because some of these things I've already answered. I've already answered in some of my previous videos. So let's see. 25 questions. The questions are good. It's just I'm wondering, will it be enough or not if I were to cover all this in one shot or one go? Okay. Let me think about it. And because now I've only got like less than an hour left, so we have to. I don't think I can cover all these 25 questions in the remaining time that I have left. Okay, I'm gonna be here until 12 midnight, and let's see. Maybe you could answer half of the 25 questions and do the other in your next stream next week. Probably. I don't want to break stuff up in between, but okay then. Right. If you guys don't have any other questions, maybe that's what I'll do. Okay. Maybe that's what I'll do. So let's start first of all with this question. Question one. Okay, let's go into this segment, which I'm gonna call ding 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 answering Ben's questions. So I'll try to answer as many as I can, and if I can't finish up all the questions, I will. Okay, let me put the first. All right, I'll probably do this on another one on another session now. Okay, so here we go. First question. Show. Number one. How do you train yourself to hear changes in dB for volume level? Is it an important skill? Well, now I'll answer the second question first. Yes, it is definitely an important skill because, right, listening to change. It's an essential thing of mixing, you see, or recording, or getting a balance, right? So, obviously, again, another controversial thing, balance. Not everyone has it. Um, it has actually got to boil down to our biological and our physiological characteristics. Our ears, right? Not everyone, because sometimes the way that we are built, the way that we grow, the way that our ears are shaped and everything, even down to the shape of our ear canal and our auditory system and everything, we all hear things differently. Everyone hears things differently, and this is again not just my opinion, but it's an opinion that was actually shared by other audio professionals as well. Some people just don't have the ear for balance. Okay, some people will just always tend to hear the treble. They tend to hear highs, or they don't hear enough highs, so they always will tend to mix things like hi hat and everything loud. So, having said that, so that's one thing out of the way. But yes, how do you train yourself to hear changes? Now, the changes. How do you train? It's all down to ear training, basically. All right. Listening is a skill which is not necessary. Yes, you are born. Everyone is born with a sense of hearing, so we can hear. Yes, you can actually hear stuff, right? If everything is perfectly okay in order, your hearing is okay, is fine. You medically, the doctor says that your hearing is fine, but listening is different. I can give you an example. Like, you could the brain has got a very very amazing ability to block out things which it deems unimportant. Let's say example, if you're sitting in an MRT or the busy subway or a train, right? You are and the train, the MRT, LRT is a noisy place. Okay, right? You have the sound of the train, the wheels rolling on the tracks, the sound of the wind, and all that. So you got all that roaring sound behind, but you can still focus and listen on someone who's communicating, and your mind, right, knows how to block out all that background noise. So it's actually a thing that that the brain is very very good at blocking out things in the background noise. So you have to train it. You have to train yourself to listen to all these sort of details. Okay, so changes in dB, it's very simple. I think it's very very simple, right? Firstly, you do need to practice, especially if you're in the context of mixing. You bring things, you take an element, for example, any sort of element, and you just slowly scroll it up. You bring it up by increments of, you start by, let's say, increments of 1 dB. 1 dB, when you really listen, is very obvious. You can obviously hear, how 1 dB, 1 dB increase or decrease in uh, in level. All right, it's very very obvious. So train yourself that way. You really have to sit down, like with a good pair of headphones or in a good with a good set of monitor speakers, and do all this incrementally. So you do this incrementally, and then you move down to even smaller increments. All right. I myself, I can sort of hear um, around maybe zero point 0.2 dB changes, and in mixing you find that it's actually very interesting. Even half dB sometimes, right? Let's zero point 0.2 is really small, right? So I usually don't really bother about, but zero point 0.5 to me is really obvious. When you mix, when you have something, again, maybe if you watch the MixStream episodes and live, right, you see 0.5 dB can be a difference between a vocal or element kind of sitting in front of the band and standing in line with the band. I will try to imagine a soundstage. Okay, I'll take a lead vocalist for example. 0.5 dB can the difference is almost like the difference with like the singer, maybe vocalist, standing in the same line with the band members, and the vocalist taking maybe a step forward. There can be a difference there, right? So it can almost sound like that. It can sound like the singer was with the band, and then just by a mere half dB or sometimes a 1 dB increase the level, poof, the vocal seems to come forward already. So that's a lot, okay? So you train it by, like any other thing. Your ear is a muscle. Your ear is it's one of your senses, one of your hearing organs. You train it like a weightlifter or any kind of athlete trains their body. Okay, you have to exercise it. Okay, so hopefully that answers the question. Okay, all right. All right. Okay. Let's jump back to another comment by Iman. Right. Okay. Iman, yeah, gave a little bit of his opinions as well. Iman says, I think the most great thing in doing DIY recording is we have a lot of time to make the song satisfied for ourselves. But I think that's also the cons of DIY recording. Sometimes stuff, yeah, okay, right. So that is one of the things about doing DIY. Yes, one of the advantages of doing it DIY is that you do not have, as people say, you do not have the pressure of studio time, and with studio time you're talking about budget, right? Bearing upon you. So you have all the time that you want to refine your craft, refine your song, refine your parts, and refine the sound of your recording. But then the cons of that is sometimes you take way too long, or you take too much time, and then the project never gets finished, right? It takes too long, right? So sometimes stuff that we satisfy it's not really up to market standard. So stuff will be a bit hard to get on radio and TV, okay? Right. Don't worry about the radio or TV thing, man. Just put it out, there. As long as you got good quality stuff, whether it's something that get picked up on radio or TV, that's all. It's really a whole different ball game. You can have very very technically perfect and technically excellent, well done recordings and mixes, but they might not make it on radio and TV. So that's a whole different topic, lah. Okay, now stuff that we're satisfied not really up to market standard, hence our stuff will be a little hard to get the. But yeah, anyway, yeah. So that's cool. Thanks for your answer. Definitely. So that's answer question. Okay, that's number one. Question number one is done. Let's go to question number two. Question number two. Okay. So question number two goes like this. Okay. Hello. All right, there you go. That's weird. Okay. Cool. Question number two from Ben. During the Tom EQ session, Like, this is referring to the mixing session. You said you listen to the sounds that aren't contributing to the tom sound. How do you know what sounds aren't contributing and how do you hear them? Okay. Well, this is actually again related to question number one. The listening is something that has to be trained. You have to be taught, you have to be trained what to listen to and what to listen for. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I call this, I don't know whether I mentioned this in the workshop, okay, but I've not actually heard anyone or any textbook refer to this, but I personally, I call it analytical listening. So I want to take, for example, all right, let's take a snare drum. Okay, I don't have a snare drum. My snare drum is out there. Imagine you have a snare drum, right? So a drummer strikes the snare drum, ta, okay, pa, and then you ask a layperson, an average person or musician, all right. Even an average musician doesn't even have to be doesn't have to be an audio expert. You just ask the average person or average musician, what sound did you hear? They will just say, "Oh, that's the sound of a snare drum," and they're correct. They're not. They're correct. But do you know that the sound of a snare drum, you can still break it down further into much more finer details? And this is where, the analytical listening, the ear of a good audio engineer and someone who's a good mixer comes into play. Because they not only hear the sound as something as a whole, but they're able to break it down and to listen and focus in on all the individual elements. So here's what the individual elements are. So you have a snare drum. Yes, you call it the entire snare drum sound. But first of all, there is right, I can break it down into a couple of elements. Right. Number one, the sound of the transient, which is the stick attack. The stick striking the head of the snare drum. You get the little high frequency whack of that. That's where the attack comes from. So that's actually one element of the sound. Then the second one would be the fundamental, the root note. So whenever you hit the snare drum, there is always that fundamental, the root note of a drum. Not just a snare, it could be a tom, it could be anything as well. Like Ben's question here refers to toms, okay? So it has the root note, and the root note is determined by the dimensions and the material that the object is made, like in this case, the snare or the tom. So it has that root note. That root note doesn't change with tuning. It's there because, again, it's physics, okay? It's determined by that. Now, but what changes, what would be the overtones? So you have the root, but you also have upper harmonics. You have overtones that are being generated. So there are some harmonics which are what we call the even harmonics. This would be the second harmonic, the fourth harmonic, and all that. Okay, and these are all it's usually an octave above, 2 octaves, so on and so forth, right? And you have some harmonics also which are like fifths, right? So fifths would be considered harmonics as well. Then you have some which are the odd harmonics. So odd harmonics will get you things like sevens, things, frequency, the harmonics. So sometimes these harmonics are not what we want, and so that's what I mean, that they don't contribute to the actual sound of the tom. It could be down to several reasons, because of the tuning and all that. And then, last of all, back to the snare drum analogy, you have the sound of the snare wire, the rattle of the snare wire that's at the bottom. So you look at the snare drum as well. A snare drum sound can be composed of 4 different things: stick attack, your resonant, the fundamental note, your overtones, and the sound of the snare wire buzzing. So it's actually 4, sometimes more, 4 or more different sounds that make up the snare drum sound. You see, so that's what I mean by analytical listening. I'll give you another example: the human voice. Again, automatically layperson will always say that, oh, that's the sound of a person singing lah or talking lah. But there are again many other things. There is, first of all, again, the fundamental, right? So the fundamental of the note, the actual note that the person is singing. Then there's always overtones, right? The overtones are generated because of our nasal, our oral and our nasal cavities. So everyone, right, generates different types of overtones. Some people have a much more nasal sound. Some people have a much more airy head sound. Again, and it's sometimes it depends on the singing technique as well. So that's two. You have overtones as well, right? Then you have things such as you do have some transients. For example, if you say a consonant like t, 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 d, p, right? So you have those kind of transient attacks that also makes up, right? What makes up a human voice, a human sound, and things like sibilants, all that, right? So even the voice also you can break it down to at least four different separate components that makes up the sound of human voice. So that's what I mean, right? By training your analytical listening, okay? Learn how to break it down. I always train it this way. One of the favorite things is that whenever I'm sitting in a car or sitting in, I'll take a car for example. I don't have a radio in my car, so I switch it off. I don't listen to music. In fact, every time I'm around I'm constantly exercising my ears. Right? I'm always trying to listen for sounds that are out there, right? So when I'm driving, I listen to the sound of. There's a sound of many things. There's a sound of the engine. There's a sound sometimes of the air conditioner. There's a sound of the air, right? That's rushing. There's also the sound of the wheels and the tires, right, in contact with the road. That all generates different tones, different notes. If it's an exercise, right, or even if you're walking out in a city or going to a park or just walking somewhere, take a little bit of time, listen, try to identify as many different sounds that you can hear. Right, if you start listening, opening your ears and listening this way, you'll be amazed. That's how you can train your ears to be able to pick up and listen to all these different and be sensitive to things such as level changes and sounds that don't contribute. For example, in this question, it's just training. It's again same answer that I have for question number one, right? Your ear is a muscle. It's just like a bodybuilder who is building their muscles and toning it. Same thing. It needs to be exercised. You need to train it. You need to put it through exercise. Okay. Hopefully that answers. So that's only two. That's only two questions, man. 20 minutes to go, and let's go to question three. Right. Question three, also related to drum sounds. Question three would be. Okay, let me hide this first. Let me edit, paste, save. Question three. What is splashiness when used to describe drum sounds? Okay, right. The splashiness here, I think, refers to the cymbals and the hi-hats, right? And it can also be related to the room. Now you can imagine that the word that the sound of splash, right? You splash the water, right? That's how we describe, the sound of splashy. So that's what I mean by splashiness lah. So sometimes if you have a room mic, all right, or overheads, cheaper cymbals, if they are usually made of the cheaper range cymbals, you can actually hear it, right? They sound very very splashy. So instead of a very rich, even overtone, yes, you want cymbals to have that high frequency brilliance and everything, but we want something that's smooth and even, so that it's brilliant, it's bright, it's present, but not splashy. Splashy means that it's just excessive, too much high end lah, right? It just sounds too okay. So I'll take for example maybe a room mic. If you record in a room which has got very, let's say, tiles, I would say for example ceramic tiles, right, or concrete, sometimes it can be splashy because, right, those surfaces will reflect a lot of high frequencies sound. And again, there's not a wrong, not a right or wrong when it comes to that. Maybe sometimes that's what you want, okay? But bear in mind that you have to be aware that it's there lah. When you record in, let's say, a room where it's got a lot of tile floors or something like that, or a bare concrete, a room with, or brick room with not a lot of acoustic treatment, right? You will sometimes get a bit of splashiness, okay? Hopefully that answers question number 3. And let's go for number 4. Number 4 says, okay, hopefully that answers the question. Okay, let's go to question number 4. Awesome, man. Okay, I'll see how much I can cover in one session. Question number 4 goes, Ben's questions. Number 4, is there a collective name for the unwanted frequencies? Yes, noise. That's what the word is. Unwanted frequencies is noise. Okay. Now, actually, noise, there is another much more technical term, right? Noise actually refers to random aperiodic sounds. Okay, right? Meaning sounds that's kind of random. It's aperiodic means that there is no pattern to it, right? Musical notes and all that stuff, right? Musical notes as played by any instrument, right, is not random. It is it has a specific frequency, it has a specific wavelength, there's a specific note, a specific volume level. So it's not random. There is a pattern to it. So it's a periodic sound, it's a periodic waveform. So for us, we find those kind of things pleasurable. We find that pleasant to our ears. But when it comes to random aperiodic sounds, things like random resonances, something just ringing, some ringing sounds here and there, when maybe some notes or certain frequencies get triggered, right? You see, when I mix, I mentioned that I will usually use subtractive EQ to deal with those kind of stuff. So that's what we call it. Those are what we call unwanted frequencies. Right. So whether it's a collective name for it, I don't really know. Okay, right. I just refer it to as unwanted frequencies. Noise, you see, sounds that don't, okay, right. Basically sounds that do not contribute to the actual sound of the instrument or the part that we're recording, be it a guitar or synth or voice. So if it's a frequency that has nothing to do, it doesn't contribute to what the original sound is. Again, it can be a reflection in the room, it can be bleed. So these are all what we refer to as unwanted frequencies. It could be some harsh resonances. So that's what it is, basically. Okay, super 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 cool. All right, awesome. Hey, thank you. A lot more people have left likes here. Mark Gabriel Cabrera, hi Mark. Oh, hi Mark. Hey, right. Wonder if anyone got that reference. Okay, so that's question 4. 21 to go, and we have like less than 15 minutes. Okay, all right. Okay, so this is question number 5. Let me hide this first. Let's put up question number 5. Question number 5 goes, okay, that day I calibrated, right, for my listening position, right, 1 meter from monitors at 85 dB, right? So that's the recommended calibration level if you are monitoring speakers. How do you calibrate with headphones for some that does not have monitors? Okay, right. This is a little bit more complicated. I think you actually have to look into the spec sheets of the headphone itself. It's a little bit more complicated because you have to look at what is the what's the impedance value of that, and then match it with the impedance output from that, because different headphones, if we have different impedance, is going to give you a different volume level. So how do you actually match? Good question. Now when it comes to headphones, all right, that's tricky actually. That's a good question. How do you actually calibrate headphones? Now to be exact, to be precise, I really don't know. Now the thing about calibrating is that Um, Calibrating sounds, you don't necessarily need to get the most accurate speakers, I would say, right? um as long as you get some kind of speaker that's able to generate a tone, let's say a sine wave at 1k, so that's usually what we measure with, right? A sine wave at 1 kilohertz at a minus 20 dB level, right? uh as long as you're able to generate some kind of sound, you kind of have to, I suspect you kind of have to compare with how loud the 85 dB sounds like compared to how it sounds, and then you match, try, you have to volume match it, okay, on your you have to volume match it with the volume control on your, the headphone volume control on your interface, or your headphone amp, or somewhere like that, okay. uh Now the thing is, don't be too hung up about the 85 dB value, although that is the recommended if you're working with headphones. I think the important thing is you need to always calibration. The most important thing is you always need to have the correct frame of, you have need to have the same frame of reference every time. So very simple trick to do that. You just mark off, you just take a, either you take a marker or you take a piece of tape, sticky tape or something like that, and you tape and you mark the volume level, that every time when it's time to record or mix or do anything, you turn it to that volume level. Every time you consistently go back to that same volume level for listening. Okay. So once you do that, that's the important thing. As long as you always have the same frame of reference there, that's important. Phew. And that's only 5 questions. We have time for a couple more. We have like less than 9 minutes left to go. Let's see. Let's go with this one. All right. Let's see. Right. Number 6. Let's go to question 6. Okay. So looks like I'm gonna have to do like another episode of this. So let's, how we go. Let's edit this. So question number 6 goes like this. All right. When recording a song, is it usually done together or separated like you showed in the workshop? Okay. Um, I think what you mean is like separated as in, the instruments are all recorded separately. Now, uh, when it comes to modern production techniques and modern production styles, this is pretty much how it's done nowadays, lah. Like what I showed you, right? All the parts are usually recorded in the separate sessions. It's all overdub sessions. We start with recording the rhythm section first of all, the drums, then the bass and the guitar in the order that I showed you. Very, very typical. That's very typical of how it works that way, right? And um, drums, again, it's very important to try and do that first, because it's actually a lot easier to for bassists and the guitarists to lock in with a drum, right, rather than vice versa. Okay, vice versa is actually a lot harder. It's a lot harder for a drummer to, right, lock in with a guitar, because the transient and the rhythm is not there. Very often it doesn't work. So I always, that's why generally speaking we almost always start with the drums first. Now, this is of course because of what audio and recording technology advancements have allowed us to do it this way, lah. Right. Prior to this, when you were looking back at 50s, 60s, we started out with only mono, right, and then stereo, and then 4-track, then 8-track, 16, and nowadays, right, unlimited tracks, lah. Right. But in the past, then it was everything had to be done together because of technical limitations. The limitations of the equipment, or the recording equipment, the technology of that day just simply could not do. You had to, right, record everything, right, together live in one go. If you go back to radio recordings of 50s and 60s, you see, right, of how it is. It's just one microphone. One microphone. You have the vocalist in front, and the rest of the band and the musicians all had to be in the background. And with that one microphone and careful positioning in the studio, they play live together, and you capture it with that just one microphone. So no mistakes. Sometimes I argue that some people will say that wow, the musicians of the past are so much better, because sometimes I have to think so, think that way too, because you couldn't afford mistakes, man. Right? Because when you recorded with one microphone, the engineer could not afford any mistakes. Once the balances were set, that's it. That's it. It was already set that way. So if your positioning of how you positioning a band and how you balance everything, you had to literally balance by distance, how far and how loud the instrument sounds. So maybe the drums will be further away in the back of the studio, right? Things like a double bass and an upright might be a little bit nearer because it's softer. And yeah, that's how it's done. Okay, so yeah, well, it's already 1:55, and I don't think I can cover any more questions. So that's 6 questions out of 25. Hey Ben, if you are watching this, I do apologize. I can't finish all the questions. Who else left a like? Oh, Yifei, hi. Hi, Li Yifei. Thanks for leaving a like on this video, okay? Um, so we're almost coming up to 12 midnight already. So I guess I'll probably just kind of wrap up with that and do a little sign off, okay? And since there are no other questions, okay, since no other questions came in from anyone else, looks like right we've got a winner. Okay, so the winner, the best question for tonight came from Lucas. So Lucas, congratulations, man. All right, you have just won yourself a copy of this the Project ER Revolution album CD. So what I need you to do, Lucas, if you're watching this, all right, please drop a message to the Studio 2105 page here. Drop me a message there. Leave me your name, your address, your contact number. Leave me your details, okay? And then I will be getting this out to you. All right. So right, please, right. If you're watching this, send me your details, okay? Congratulations, Lucas! Yay! Woohoo! Okay. So there you go. You guys who have been watching this, but if you kept quiet, you didn't ask any questions, right? You just missed out on an opportunity to win super exclusive uh prizes lah. This is actually very limited. There's very few copies of these left in existence. So right, so congratulations, Lucas. Okay, all right, get in touch. Okay, all right. So it's coming up to 12, and I guess I'll probably sign off here right now. So I couldn't finish all the questions. I'll probably have to do it right on another session. We've only covered 6 questions out of Ben's questions anyway. Right. But Lucas gave a very good question. If you can always go back and watch the replay. What I do is I will usually take the video from here and gonna put it up on the YouTube channel. Right. I'll usually edit out all the unnecessary parts and put a little bit of background music and stuff like that, and so you can go and check it out lah. And speaking of YouTube, right, if you are watching this, okay, whether if you are kind of watching, if you're watching this right now, or maybe in the replay later on, right, if you haven't done so, okay, if you have not done so yet, please head on down and come on, become a subscriber, okay, to the Studio 2105 YouTube channel, the direct access MixStream channel. This is the link, the URL, youtube.com/studio2105, okay. Well, you just go to YouTube, you just look for Studio 2105, you will definitely find my channel, okay? Become a subscriber today. I will really appreciate it, okay? That would be awesome as well. If you found this video informative, helpful, do leave a like, share this with your friends, okay? Usually on Fridays I will have the MixStream live stream sessions. Today, of course, right, when I don't have it, I will have a Ask Me Anything session like this. And become a subscriber. It'll be awesome, okay? You click on the notification as well, so that you'll be updated every time I put out a new video. I do want to quickly mention as well, if you want, I do all of this for free, actually, all the video content that we put out for free. But if you like to support the channel, you can do so by becoming a patron, right? Patrons, right, can go to this website called Patreon. They can sign up, right, to become a patron member. If you sign up to become a Patreon member, you get lots of special perks and benefits. All right, do check it out. Just get down to the website, the patreon.com/studio2105. Anywhere from as low as $1 a month, that's about 4 ringgit, right, a month, right, all the way to the VIP access tiers. We have higher tiers, lah. Right, so if you get all the way to the VIP access tiers, right, you get things such as one-on-one tutorial mentoring, right? So we do one-on-one tutorial sessions, right, with me. You get, behind the scenes, you get exclusive patrons only content, and also discount codes, right? So here's the thing about the discount codes. If you actually sign up to become a VIP patron, right, on Patreon, you actually can untong a lot. You can actually sort of get around and game the system. So let's say I give you an example, all right? Let's say if you are planning of to book some studio time with me at the studio, right? So usually, let's say the studio time goes for about this, right? Or let's say you want to record a song, or any kind of thing, any kind of project or studio service we want me to mix a song for you. Now, usually, let's say my rate, for example, if I mix a song for, let's say, 500 ringgit, for example, right? That's the usual rate. But if you sign up as a VIP patron for that month, right? I give out a 20% discount. So this means that I give you this 20% discount voucher. So this means that if you are going to want to mix a song, you sign up for become a patron, I give you 20% off, right? Within for that month lah. So that means for mixing, you get 100 ringgit off, so you save 60 ringgit actually, right? So isn't that a great deal? Right, and right, that voucher that for that month is reusable, so you can reuse it. Let's say if you have another song to mix, or you have another bunch of hours to one you want to book, I still give you that 20% discount. It's not a one-time use thing, so you can actually game the system a little bit and earn quite a lot. Okay, anyway, so lastly, so again, go head on down to the Patreon, subscribe to the channel, and I guess I'll wrap it up for tonight. Okay, thank you very much again for joining in and watching this. Be it if you've watched live, right? Every one of you, right, who post your questions. Again, Lucas, right, send me your details. Message me on the Studio 2105 Facebook page, right, and I'll get the price, the CD out to you. In the meantime, okay, I guess once again, Happy New Year, everyone. I know I said this a million times already, but please stay safe, continue to be happy and healthy, right? Most importantly, take care of your personal hygiene, right? Wear masks, take care of your social distancing and all that. I don't want to sound like an old uncle repeating and saying things, but this really, really matters, okay? We do it not for ourselves, but we do it for our loved ones and those who are around us who are much more vulnerable to the virus, are much more vulnerable to the disease, okay, than we are. We may be healthy, we may be young, we may be vibrant, but bear in mind, right, there are some of us who are not, right, in a lot more vulnerable to this than we are. So in the meantime, right, stay safe, happy recording and mixing, and peace, love, music. Good night, guys. Bye.